Hello everyone and welcome to this Keptn webinar about Keptn and EKS Blueprints. My name is Thomas Schütz. I'm a Keptn maintainer and principal engineer at Dynatrace, and today I have a very special guest.
Hey, my name is Christian Heckelmann. I'm a cloud engineer at Dynatrace, and I'm taking the part of the demo today for you guys.
Thank you, Christian. Nice to have you here. Yes, in today's webinar, you will learn how to bootstrap a Keptn control plane using EKS Blueprints. So, first things first, what is EKS Blueprints? Firstly, EKS Blueprint is a quick start to deploy a well-architected EKS cluster. Secondly, it allows you to bootstrap a Kubernetes cluster with all of the necessary components in NPM modules, just like an ingress controller, Dynatrace for monitoring, in our case Keptn, but also certificates and DNS entries. Yes, it's infrastructure as a code, so you can specify everything in infrastructure and also do some things as version controlling and also use it in your CI pipelines. And last but not least, it is AWS CDK based. So if you can write TypeScript, you can use EKS Blueprints. So Christian, tell us how this all works technically.
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we have prepared a demo, and like in every good cooking show, I would say, we also prepared already the cluster for you because we don't want to stretch the time too much today. So we have already provisioned in our AWS account using the CDK and the EKS Blueprints, an EKS cluster, a small one. We have installed within the cluster an Nginx ingress controller, an AWS ALB controller. We have installed the external DNS add-on, which will take care of updating our Route 53 DNS entries, right? And also, which comes with the CDK, the ability to provision ACM certificates. In our case, we have created here a wildcard certificate. And we have connected our cluster already to Dynatrace. So, and now we will have a short look how we will install the Keptn control plane within our cluster. And for that, let's directly jump into the demo. I have already prepared here, as I said, the cluster. The cluster is already running. And what we want to do now is just to add our EKS Blueprint add-on for Keptn to our configuration. But let's first go through the configuration a little bit. As you can see, with only 38 lines of code, we have provisioned everything I told you before. So we have here defined our cluster, we have imported our CDK, we have imported the blueprints, we've imported the Dynatrace add-on. And all we need to do is some configurations for our add-ons, right? So we have defined here, okay, I want to have in my cluster metric server, for instance. I want to have my AWS load balancer controller. I want to have Calico alongside installed for using, for instance, network policies, right? I've installed the cluster autoscaler add-on so that the cluster will be automatically resized if needed. I've installed the external DNS add-on, as I mentioned before, to update our Route 53 records. And we have installed the Nginx ingress controller. For the Dynatrace add-on, we have stored the secrets we are using for Dynatrace in an AWS secrets manager, which we also use now for our Keptn installation. And all we need to do then is build our entire stuff, right? So a lot or a few lines of code to get a production grade AWS EKS cluster with a lot of add-ons onboarded. So what we need to do is, after I've installed the Keptn module, to import it, right? So what we did before was just in my project npm install. That's it. And I have here a typo. It's not npm, it's npm. But nevertheless, so let's get started. And here I say in my add-ons configuration, I want to have a new Keptn control plane add-on, or Keptn control plane add-on configured. Come off, brackets. And then we can add some configuration options. As I said, we want to use the AWS secrets manager to define our API token and to get our bridge password into our Keptn installation. So I say I want to use my secret name, which is in this case Keptn SP. And then I want to say, okay, which version of Keptn I want to have deployed. There is a default version. In this case, it was 11 or 12 version, but there's already the 0.15 version deployed. So I say I want to have version 0.15.0. And that's basically it. So now if we want to run it, it will deploy Keptn, and Keptn is available, or the Keptn bridge is available through service. But you don't necessarily want to go through a service. You want to have it exposed as an ingress, right? So what we just need to do, and then we need to get rid of this pop-up window here, is to say I want to have an ingress enabled. And I need to set the ingress host name, which is control plane. And then I want to reuse my variables here on the top. So it will be control plane dot ingress subdomain plus dot in between. And on the end, my route 53 domain, right? And as we have deployed all the stuff through an Nginx ingress controller and defined an ingress class, we need to add this as an ingress annotation as well. So we say ingress annotations. And I'm just copying it here because I'm too lazy to write. That we set our ingress class to Nginx. I need a sip of water. I'm sorry. So as we are deploying here Keptn with a standard Helm installer, you can also set any other value you want to provide to a Keptn installation. For instance, I want to say I don't want to show the API token in the bridge later on. So what I need to do here is just say values and then the normal installer values like control plane. Within the control plane, there are the bridge settings. The settings for this is show API token. Hope I don't have a typo in it. And this will be enabled equals false. So that's it. And now all we need to do to actually deploy our Keptn stack will be CDK deploy. And if you want to deploy multiple Keptns, that's also possible. All you need to think about is Keptn or our add-on will install Keptn by default in the Keptn namespace. So if you have here a second Keptn add-on 2, for instance, or whatever, all you need to do is to say namespace Keptn 2, for instance, right? So this will take some time now. Let's go back to our presentation and take a look at some of the prerequisites we need to run all of this stuff. So first of all, you need to have installed Node.js on your machine, right? It's CDK. So Node.js is required, obviously. Then you need an AWS CLI installed on your machine. It's also obvious. You need the AWS CDK. You need your AWS credentials in place, to have it in place. And as I told you before, we are using the AWS Secrets Manager to configure our API token and bridge password. As you can see here on the small screenshot. You can also add it directly into the code, but most likely not the best idea to add secrets directly to the code, right? And as this is still running, let's take a look at the quick start. So if you want to start with the EKS Blueprints, all you need to do is to install the AWS CDK to your machine through npm. Can check the version. You just need to say then in a directory, okay, CDK init and app with a language TypeScript. We installed through npm the AWS Quick Start Blueprints. We installed through the npm our control plane add-on, and optionally, if you want to later on deploy an execution plane, you can do this as well with an add-on from us, right? And with this being said, we will wait a couple of minutes and we'll be back in as soon as Keptn is available, right? See you. So I hope you haven't recognized that we had a little cut here in our video, because it takes some time to deploy all the stuff. And the problem is, if you have your cluster only sized to one node and you deploy a lot of stuff inside, then the autoscaler kicks in, and it took a couple of minutes to deploy actual Keptn. But as you see, it is working as expected. So we have now 2 nodes, because I used the cluster autoscaler add-on, as I described earlier. And now we have our running Keptn installation in our Keptn namespace. So everything is working as expected, right? And now let's take a look if we can access a bridge actually. So it will be control plane. I exited once time before when I was preparing the demo, so don't need to write everything by my own. I need to log in. I hope I still know the password. Hey, and here's my fresh Keptn installation. And let's check if my values are picked up, which I customized with the Helm chart. Great. The API token is not being displayed, so everything was working as expected. It's not usual in a demo, but I'm happy with that. So as you can see, it was quite easy to install Keptn. What you have learned now? You have learned how to bootstrap an EKS cluster with a few lines of code. Cool. In 38 lines of code, having fully fledged EKS cluster, it's not so bad, right? You have many blueprints available, right? So like the autoscaler add-on, the Nginx add-on. There are a lot of other add-ons. You can take a look at the link later on we provide to the quick start guide. Here are all add-ons listed. You can deploy infrastructure components in one transaction. As you can see, I just run one CDK deploy, everything was there as expected. And if you want to deploy multiple Keptns, just throw in another add-on to the configuration, and you will have another one at the next runtime, right? And as already mentioned, the Keptn execution plane add-on is also available, so you can install generically every execution plane you want, right? And with that being said, back to you, Thomas.
Yes, thank you, Christian, for this really awesome demo. So now, how can you proceed? So at first, if you saw this demonstration and think, yes, what Christian said is pretty cool, and I also want to try it, and you have some ideas or questions, or however we can help you, just reach out to us on the Keptn Slack channel. Furthermore, the EKS blueprints are in a public repository, so feel free to take a look on this repository. There are examples for all of the configurations you saw here. And also, if you find some issues or want to add some additional configuration things, feel free to raise a PI, and I'm totally sure that some of us will accept it. Yes, and try it out, open issues, and let's make this better. Last but not least, as I said, enhancements and improvements are very welcome. So just don't be shy and open up pull requests. So with this, I want to thank you, Christian, for being here. And for all of you listening to this webinar, and have a nice day, and I hope we'll see you or hear us soon again. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.